Hey guys, today we're going to be drawing a game controller. I'm using an iPad Pro with the Procreate app. Now you don't need this to follow along. You can use a white sheet of paper, a black marker for outline, and markers and crayons for coloring in. So I've gone ahead and I have created 3 layers: the outline layer, the sketch layer, and the color layer. Now the outline layer is where we're going to use our markers to do the outline, and the sketch is where we're going to be sketching the picture initially, and the color is for us to color in. So I've got my 3 layers here. I'm going to go into my sketch layer. I've got my black, and I'm going to get my HB pencil. And first I'm going to enable the grid. So let's go by going into settings, canvas, and enabling the drawing guide. And the reason for this is because I want everything square and aligned. So let's start off by drawing the square part of the controller. And it has like a rounded edge. So we can start with a curve. And we're just sketching this out. And it doesn't matter if you make a mistake here because, again, this is just a sketch. See, that's why I need a grid, because I can already see my misalignment. So the rounded curve here goes just one box. And then we got the side parts over here. And then the same thing down on the right. And you kind of want it to mirror. So I've got 1, 2, 3, and a little bit of boxes. So same thing here. And then next we're going to divide this into 3. So we're going to put a line down this way. And then a line right here. So you can see that there's 4 boxes and 4 boxes, and the center has 5. And it doesn't have to be exact. Whatever grid you're working with will work. And then we can draw our little buttons in here. So there's a plus sign here, minus sign here, and then there's 4 buttons. I'm just gonna sketch this out. This is the X, Y, B, A. And then there's a giant button here. And a little, I think, home button right there. And then we can go over this with the marker after. And then on this side has the big button up here. And then down here has 4 buttons. And these are arrows. And then in the center, there are just 4, I guess, LED lights. And I think I gotta move this part up. So let me grab my selection tool, freehand, select that with the arrow, and I'm gonna move that up just a tad. And then lastly, there is a little square button right there. And one thing I do want to fix is up here, because these video game controllers kind of slide out. So here it kind of goes like this. There's like a little jug in the design. So that is the basic sketch, and now we can outline it. So I'm going to decrease the sketch layer opacity maybe to about 20%. And I'm going to go into my outline layer And I'm gonna grab my round brush. And if you're on a paper, you can go grab your black marker. So let's start off by doing the rounded square. And I'm gonna start over here. And if you're on an iPad and you want a straight line, don't let go of the Apple Pencil. This is where your grid comes in handy. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna copy this over here and flip it. And if you're on a paper, it's okay, you could just use your marker and draw the other side. So on an iPad, you could go into the outline layer, just swipe left to duplicate, hit your arrow button up here, make sure you're under uniform, and then flip horizontal. And then you can just move that copy over to the right. And then we just want to merge those two layers. So click on it and merge down. And then for the sides, I'm also going to be duplicating that layer over to the right, but this time I'm just going to create a new layer so that I'm able to just copy that on its own. So again, swipe left, duplicate, hit your arrow button, flip horizontal, and move it over. And then we can merge all of these down. So let's draw these buttons here. So to create a perfect circle in Procreate, you could draw your circle. Don't let go of the Apple Pencil, tap anywhere on the screen, and it will become a perfect circle. And then I'm just gonna copy this section over here, but I didn't create a new layer for them. So all I gotta do is just get the selection tool, select this portion, hit copy and paste, and it will show up as a new layer. And then I can just move it over here. And then I'm just gonna merge that down. So now we can do the plus sign. And I'm just gonna do a thinner brush. So I'm gonna do a cross. And then same here. And then with these LED lights. And again, I'm just gonna copy and paste it. There we go. I'm going to swipe left and copy and paste that. And if you're interested in looking at any Procreate tips and tricks, I do have a video which I can link below, and you can learn more about copy and paste functions, nudging, and all that stuff. So I'm just gonna merge down, merge down, merge down, and then I'm just gonna copy this portion right here and paste. All right, so now we can get rid of the sketch layer just by unchecking it. And I'm just gonna merge this down again. So this is what we're left with. And then we can also get rid of our guide. So let's color the blue side. I already have the game controller color palette here. So let's go into our color layer. And then we can begin by coloring. Now, if you're on an iPad, it's okay to just go over all of these buttons. But if you're on a paper, you're probably gonna have to color around them. And then we can do the red side. So next up, we can work on these 4 buttons. I'm going to create a new layer just in case we make any mistakes. The actual video game controller has a darker outline and then kind of like a gray circle inside. So let's select a lighter gray, and then we can just begin coloring. All right, so now we can label them. So let's grab a white, and if you're on a piece of paper, you're just gonna have to write it in. But because we're on an iPad, let's just type it in. So let's go into settings, add text, and the top button is an X, a capital X. And then we can make the size bigger. And then next we could do the A. So I'm just gonna duplicate that, move it over here, and then hit the layer, hit edit text, and then we can type A. I'm gonna duplicate that again, and this is going to be a B. So hit edit text, double click on that, and then B. Duplicate again, and hit edit text, double click on the letter, and then hit Y. And then we can merge these layers. And I'm just gonna get rid of my sketch layer because we don't need that anymore. So to delete it, swipe left and then hit delete. All right, so next up is this circle here. And then we're gonna paint this with the same gray that we have above. Now this circle is kind of divided into 4 quadrants, kind of like that Simon game. So we could do this by now just grabbing a black, decreasing your brush size, and then we're going to draw a circle. And then we're going to divide that into 4. And then for this guy down here, this is a home button. And it actually has a lighter gray on the perimeter of it. So let's select a light gray. And then we're just going to draw outside of it. And then we can choose this gray up here. So to select that gray, tap on the square, hit anywhere in that gray, and it's gonna pop up on your color palette. And then on the controller is a house icon. So let's grab a black, decrease our brush size, and then we can draw a house. And then inside has a gray box. Okay, so now let's move over on this side. And with this black square box, we're gonna grab the same gray here. And we're just gonna color that in. And then it has a darker circle inside. And then moving up, we have our arrows. So again, we're gonna select that same gray and then grab this dark color, black, and then we could draw our arrows. So now with this button, it's actually the same as this button. So I'm gonna be in that same layer. I'm gonna select this part, copy and paste, and just gonna move this. And there's also two buttons at the top, which I didn't sketch out, but we can just draw them out now. And they span almost to the edge. And then now we can paint these two sides black. And then next we can do the green squares. So this time I'm going to create a new layer on top, and I'm going to select the green. And then I'm just going to go back to that layer, select a black, and then we can start coloring this part in. And last, I think I actually just want to add a little bit of dimension to the game controllers. So I'm going to select just a lighter gray, almost even a white. And then I'm going to select my airbrush this time. It's going to be a soft brush, and we're just going to lightly put that color, like really light. I'm not even pressing this hard at all. And then with the airbrush right there, also selected on soft brush, I am just gonna lightly blend it. And then to make these green LED lights glow, let's go into that layer. Then we can go into the adjustments tool and then hit the blur tool and then just swipe a little bit so you can see that the percentages go up as you swipe right or left. So I'm just gonna do maybe 4%. They kind of look blurry. And then also we can add more dimension to the red and blue parts. So let's go into that layer. So I'm gonna enable alpha lock. So click it, hit alpha lock, and then you can see the transparency in the thumbnail. So basically what this does is it doesn't, like if you put color on it, it doesn't let you go beyond what you've already colored. So let's select this red. We're gonna select a lighter shade. And again, with the soft brush, we're just gonna do the top part. And then with the blending brush, just gonna blend that in. Do you see how that kind of makes it look a bit 3D? Okay, same with the blue. Let's grab the blue. Select a lighter shade. And then for the bottom parts, let's select the blue again. And this time we're gonna go a tiny bit darker. And blend that. Same with the red. And we can also do it with these buttons, but we can leave that for now. You get the idea. But anyway, hope you enjoyed this little tutorial. And there you go, there is your video game controller. To get notified of more new videos where I teach you to draw, be sure to subscribe.